Most real estate investors think they have a leads problem. They don't. They have a sales process problem. In this office hours session, I broke down the entire click-to-close system from the moment a lead opts in to the moment a contract gets signed, and showed exactly where most REI businesses are leaking money without even knowing it. Let's get into it.
Today we're going to cover the click to close process. So everything you're going to know and everything that you got to learn of what happens in the marketing side and what happens in the sales side, right? This is a collaborative type of department. So if you don't have a marketing and sales department internally just yet, you will, it's good that you're going to learn this because you're going to be able to oversee or understand what are the optimizations that each one of the departments would have to have in order for leads to flow and leads to contracts to go, right? So I'm excited for this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you guys how my brain operates, and I'm going to show you exactly some documents as we go, best practices, but at the same time, examples, like very solid examples of how things need to happen at every single point of the marketing process, the sales process, the the pre-marketing, the pre-sales. There's a few different processes that we gotta go for, and I'm excited to show you guys all of this here. So I'm gonna put everyone here in mute. Let me have everyone in here. There you go. Let me have everyone here focused. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen right here. What we have is a high-level lead journey in an REI business. All right. So this is very high level, and I want to show you guys what this really means. So we got here two parts of the closing process of a lead. So just assume that the left side all the way to the left, it's like they haven't sold, they barely know about you, and they just heard about you, and somehow you got to be able to earn their trust. People that just come in from either Facebook ads, Google PPC, website search, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, YouTube channel, you name it, even direct mail, you name it, they go through a specific process. This is called the pre-selling process. And then the closing process is where you go through a sales process, right? And then eventually they'll become a client, all right? And this part right here, this is what we would call the onboarding process, right? Like this is when you onboard someone, you go through a TC, you go through a TC process, transaction coordination process, you go through a dispo process, you onboard someone into your company to fulfill them, right? We're not going to cover that. What we're going to cover is the pre-selling process and the closing process. So the pre-selling process is, it contains a few parts. The pre-selling contains getting people that are completely unaware about your company, and then market to them, and you're gonna market to a few people that are just unaware that you exist, right? And but they do have awareness of a level of awareness of a few things. So what happens when people are ultimately having a pain, and in order for this to understand marketing really well in the pre-selling process, you got to understand really your ideal client profile. You got to understand their pains, and you got to understand what is the gap that they have from where they are to where they want to be, right? And then you understand the psychographics. Ultimately, you want to be able to create something called the brief, all right? So once you have pain, once you have gap, once you have the desires, once you understand the psychographics of these people, once you have all of these things, challenges and so on, you ultimately create something called the brief. Every company should have a brief. And the brief talks about the ICP and the buyer persona. Like who's gonna buy your product. In and essentially who's going to sell you the house, right? And each company should have at least one primary ICP, one secondary ICP, and from 2 to 4, maximum 5 buyer personas, right? I'm not gonna dive into that super deep, but each company should have a specific brief so that they can tell their marketing team or their sales team, like, who is it that we're actually talking to, who is it that we want to focus on, and then you create all the content and the material based on this thing, right? So that's very important. Now, in order to get to this buyer persona, in order to get to these ICPs, the main ICP and the buyer persona, just so you know, ICP is ideal client profile, someone in a very detailed, who is this specific person, how they breathe, how they walk, what they eat, who they are, how old they are, like what they do, what they behave like. And then the buyer persona is like individuals that potentially fit that ultimately it's ultimate community, let's just call it like that. How they're going to fit that, and then you're going to have to run some marketing channels, right? You're going to have to run some sort of marketing or advertising, direct to seller, anything, something, and that consists on 3 different levels of the funnel, and I'll explain to you guys. Okay, so the first one is the top of the funnel, right? Top of the funnel is essentially content that it's going to be value dense content that is going to nurture the ICP and is going to create eventually new audiences. Now, this top of the funnel content could potentially be very broad, right? This top of the funnel content could talk about how the economy have changed for homeowners in 2026. And you can put that as a YouTube video, you can put that as an ad, you can put that in your social media, right? And then essentially it's going to create more people that are unaware about you, and it's going to make them aware about you, right? And so it's going to be you're going to be able to do broad content or value dense content that eventually creates new audiences right in here, so that we can ultimately talk with our specific people that we want to talk to once we have created audiences or going for it with a middle of the funnel content, right? Middle of the funnel angles. So let's just think about top of the funnel is you got a funnel, and I wish I can just create it here. Let me see if I can just ultimately create this in here. Let me see if I can just create a funnel. Yeah, there you go. I created a funnel. Boom. So that's kind of how it looks actually, guys. So yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, it ended up being perfect. You got here the essentially funnel awareness. We got top of the funnel, very broad, middle of the funnel. You get them going here. Some people would receive the content much better, and then bottom of the funnel, which is BOF, it's going to be ultimate content that either retarget people that are on the fence of your offer or working with you, or they don't fully trust you, or you consistently are nurturing them in your CRM or in the ads and the content that you put with case studies and testimonials and showing them, hey, I got real proof and credibility that everything that I do works, and that we're going to help you do the same thing. And that is the bottom of the funnel type of content, right? So these are some examples in here. Hold on, let me give you some examples of middle of the funnel stuff that you can do. You can always say cash for your house. You can always say seller has cash and stuff like that. But you can always say, hey, I'll give you different offers. I'll be able to give you $5,000 over any other offer. I will outbid any other investor by X amount. Will come down to the best top cash offer. I'll become a seller's advocate. I'll be able to help you get outside of your situation and move you out of state, and I'll pay everything. I'll pay the moving cost. So let's say I'll pay, guaranteed $2,000 for moving costs. Right? So these are a few different things that we can actually talk about, and there's a lot more that if we go in detail will take a long time. Whenever you're talking to people that are in the middle of the funnel, all right? So when you're talking to these individuals, we also got to take into consideration that there is 5 levels of awareness. It was actually created by a marketer and psychologist called Dan Schwartz. And whenever you're talking to people, whether they come from Facebook ads, Google, website, whatever, you're going to be talking to 5 levels of awareness, 5 stages. All right. And I'm gonna put them right in here real fast for you guys, so you guys understand what that means. So the 5 stages of awareness. All right, real quick in here. So we're gonna go. Let me just put here, right here. Boom. All right. So there's 5 stages of awareness that we're gonna be talking to specific motivated sellers, homeowners that need to sell. The first one is people that are unaware. So they're unaware that there is a problem. They're unaware that there's a problem. So this normally people are people that you'll find into cold calling leads, right? These are very, very cold leads that they're really unaware that there's a problem. Like there's a reason why they haven't sold their house or found any type of solution. Now we got problem aware. So you start becoming a little bit more aware of a problem. So these people ultimately would go a little bit deeper into hotness. All right. But still not that hot. It's still like just starting to warm up, starting to ultimately get aware that there's a problem. And you'll find these people hanging around in different marketing channels, right? You'll find these people whenever you post bandit signs, whenever you post banners, whenever you post ultimately Facebook groups. That they're aware there's a problem, and you are telling them, hey, you got a problem. I know you got a problem, but there's a potential solution about this. Now, we also have solution aware. All right. So these people are a little bit hotter, and they have gone ahead and done maybe a little bit of homework, and they found options in online. So they've probably gone to Bing, they've gone to Yahoo, they've gone to Google, they have asked people around, right? But they are just aware that there is a solution out there, and they're becoming a little bit more hot, right? Like that's ultimately what we're trying to do. Then there is another one called product or service aware. All right. We're going to call them L1. We're going to call this one L1. We're going to call this one L2. And we're going to call this one L3. And we're going to call this one L4. And then and this one is a little bit hotter, right? Now, with people that already know that there's products out there, you'll find that these individuals will start price shopping, or will start comparing offers, or will start not really trusting everyone because they have talked with a few other people and so on. So, but they're still doing the search. They still are aware of problem. They're still aware of solution. They are now aware that someone out there, a company or a service, can actually help them. Now, the next one would be fully aware, right? Normally, these are people that already have kind of purchased your product, right? Or somehow they're being with you in your pipeline, like really, really, really close to closing. But there's something logistically, but potentially that it's not allowing them. Or maybe you already closed them and you just have to find ways to actually make more money from them, right? That's like level 5. Whenever you're marketing, you guys want to focus on level 3 to level 4, but you could still accept people at level 2. Will just require a little bit more nurturing, right? So whenever you're marketing, know that there's levels of awareness of individuals, of you know, people that want to buy your product, or in this case, that want to sell their house. And just understand that if you don't have a really good pre-selling process, a really good closing process for each type of individuals, and understand where they are in terms of their level of quality, let's just call it like that, you will have a hard time to really, really close these individuals, right? Now, let me dive into something that is very important for you guys to understand. Each one of these marketing channels, they will have the different type of awareness levels of sellers that will have them in there because of how the marketing channels make them behave, right? We got Facebook and Instagram ads, which is ultimately disruption marketing after, either you get them cold from, talking about the problem and like ultimately listening to the phone and then experiencing something in real life, and then this person is just talking about it and the phone listens to it. Or they are doing search online, they're going to Google, and then Facebook bots crawl, and then ultimately you will appear in the feed. You got Google PPC, which if you have a search campaign, then it's just people that are searching online, and they ultimately come in because either they have a problem that they know that they directly need to solve. They probably like tried something else, or they're going to try something for the first time. So you got to get them into either level 3 or level 4 awareness, right? And you're different type of objections for this type of people. People that have done a website search probably have gone through ads, probably have gone through other options. They are searching you and found you because of SEO. We covered SEO last week, actually. YouTube ads is the combination of disruption and search. By the way, Google, PPC, and YouTube are the same platform. And obviously, you can always do display ads, which are retargeting ads, or cold ads, which also act kind of like the Facebook ads of Google, basically. And YouTube ads are kind of like a mix of both. If you're scrolling through shorts, it's exactly like Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And if you're scrolling through the other feed, which is searching for YouTube, it's a medium between Google and Facebook, right? And TikTok, fully disruptive, but lately it also became SEO driven because people are searching online on TikTok for stuff. I remember my dad was actually searching for how to do something on TikTok, and I was like, "Why are you searching something on TikTok?" And he's like, "Well, I usually find the answer on TikTok." And I was like, "Really? Like you're like 65? Like that's kind of interesting, you know what I mean?" Then you got the YouTube channel, which if you guys don't have a YouTube channel for your company, you should definitely start a YouTube channel right away, especially when you can create like YouTube videos now with AI and stuff. I'm not saying that you go on AI, but you should have a YouTube channel because it's like the easiest way to elevate people's trust on your company. All right. Now, what goes after this? All right. Let me just dive into this in here. So when people find you and you understand now the level of awareness of different homeowners, You understand whether that's top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, or bottom of the funnel content that you run on paid ads. You want people obviously to opt in, and you want that opt-in lead, to be treated like gold. All right. Now, here's something very important that a lot of people actually are missing. And actually, I just got a report recently from one of our team members about we did like a research inside of people's CRM and how people behave after a lead has opted in. And it's going to be very interesting for you guys to see the behavior of businesses against leads and how this is affecting conversion. But anyways, people opt in and they're going to go to a landing page. I'll show you guys the type of landing pages. So this one, for example, is one of the landing pages that we run. I'll give you an example right here. Let me just open it real quick. So this is an example of a landing page that we run for clients whenever we are sending them from a Google ad to a Google ad or a Facebook ad, right? This needs to be very easy to load and very easy to actually go through. People need to feel like they can go to the next step as fast as possible, but they need to jump into a qualifying journey. So we're going to ask them pain-based questions, all right? So as an example, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to be asked pain-based questions so that I can actually give the truth about what's going on in my situation, all right? I mean, here's another option, here's another way to do it. This one was highly modeled after Open Door. So you can actually go and model Open Door or different companies out there, and you guys will be able to see. It's very important that whenever we're allowing people in, it's not only easy to load, fast to load, and we got a quiz funnel that does pain-based questions, but we have enough credibility in the landing page, in the website. For example, in here, this will be filled with testimonials and case studies and potentially interviews that they've had with, that we had with other clients. And you guys need to take it as if it was a full sales letter. So the landing page needs to be a sales letter that has essentially 6 main things. Is it why we're different, right? What is what is that it's for them? Why they're different? Why should I trust you? What is it that they got to lose, and how does it actually work? All right, it needs to be very fast. It needs to have all those 6 components in order to make it happen, so that people can make clean decisions, fast decisions, and not have distractions. I've seen people run their campaigns to websites, and I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that that's going to be a distraction because websites have menus which have multiple buttons, which takes them outside of their focus, which is like, okay, how do I get an offer? How do I actually get some help real fast? And then there is also the straight to survey, which is exactly the same as any landing page, but the survey is more interactive right in here, right? So it's a little bit more interactive. You can put pictures, you can put, all of this you can actually do with Go High Level and just changing the code using Cloud Code, telling Cloud Code to do any design that you guys want, but it works the same thing, right? As a matter of fact, this right here actually works really good for YouTube ads and for Facebook ads right there and there, whatever it's like a straight survey. Then after that, let me go. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Then after that, there's a few things that need to happen after post opt-in. This is where we start really pre-selling people. Remember that these people either come in from Facebook, Google, website, YouTube, and they don't know about you. We really don't know what is the level of intent or what is the level of awareness that these individuals have, right? So we gotta be able to qualify that. We gotta be able to understand that level. We gotta be able to score the leads where they are. And the only way to do it is really to understand based on the questions that they're actually answering to us, all right? Now, I'll give you guys an example in here. So I'm going to give you guys a spreadsheet. I'm going to show you guys a spreadsheet of lead scoring, appointment rating, lead scoring mechanism. Let's see in here. Boom. All right. So this spreadsheet right in here. If you guys don't have a lead scoring mechanism where every single time that you guys have a lead and you guys can score the lead, whether in a spreadsheet or whether that's in the CRM itself, in the workflow, every time that they answer a question in the survey, and then you don't have a qualification score, quality score, you're not going to be able to know kind of like what type of lead this is. Now, this is without prejudging, without judging the lead, because every lead needs to be followed up. But you would understand this deeper and then send them a specific content that feeds their ultimate desires and their ultimate pain, and then keeps nurturing them. And you would understand where they are. So whenever you're managing leads, you also will know the level of, quality. Let's just call it like that. So here, for example, we got this right in here where it's an appointment grading or rating spreadsheet. You have a quality score and you have the questions that you normally would ask in a survey. So need to sell. I did a quality score from 1 to 4. Need to sell. If they say no, well, they don't have an intent. Well, I'm going to put ultimately 1, and I'm probably going to not allow them to go into that survey. So whenever you have conditional logics into the survey funnel, into the quiz funnel, then you want to be able to like remove them from keep moving forward. Then you got yes, of course, that's a number 4. Motivation. Well, motivation, there's a few ways to actually go about it. If they do share their motivation deeply, which is normally what we ask people to do, which is, give me the real reason why you actually are wanting to sell, and it's a bunch of options, then they're going to score a 4. How soon are you looking to sell? So if they're answering just curious or within 6 months, that's 1 to 2. Now 1 is 100% cancelable. You don't want that lead to actually even go through. So the survey, you don't want it to go through. So essentially you send them to another landing page. Be like, okay, we're not ready for you, right? Or you're not ready for this. If it is within 6 months, well, that's questionable. You still would want to be able to either have a conversation or see how you can actually help them. But within 3 months or ASAP, you definitely want to score them higher, 3 to 4, right? If you got someone scored at 3 or 4, you want to be able to take that conversation and try to close. If you get someone at 2, that's a questionable. So you want to be able to triage them and fully understand where they are right now without prejudging them and actually still take the call, right? So there is other questions that you can actually ask, and you would want to be able to score them based on their answers, right? And then you would take the score, you would average it, and that is the quality of the lead that you would ultimately are essentially getting. Let's just call it like that, right? So if they're at the end, if they're scoring 4, then we said, okay, let's just say it's cold, it's hot. If they're scoring warm, it's still warm, and you can make them hot, or you close them. You can still prioritize them. But if you score 2 as questionable and they're just a little bit cold, right? But it still is a lead that you want to be able to attend. Okay, so that's just to understand that in there. If you guys want this sheet, definitely ask your CSM, or you can also find it in a document that I'm going to share with you guys at some point. Where is it that I've got? Boom. There we go. All right, cool. So we got a scoring system right in here. You want to be able to score people. Now, when they opt in, obviously there's a process, right? And a lot of people just think that is a few sequences of emails, text messages, and then a thank you page. But here's where you guys normally get it wrong. each person come with a different level of awareness. They have a different level of awareness, right? Again, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, fully aware. And they also come with different type of angles or different, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, right? So considering that, and considering that you also are essentially qualifying them, or figuring out the quality of them, there's a specific content that people need to ultimately take in order to make a better decision and remove any objections and any questioning or challenges or concerns that they have. You want to be able to remove them and pre-sell them as soon as they opt in, right? As soon as they comment, right? So the emails, the text messages, and the landing pages need to be as customized as possible. And now that you have a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, it's easier to actually send them specific things to them. Not only that, if you do have, like, for example, whenever we're asking for motivation, if you do have the specific motivation of the person, so I'll give you guys this example right away. So if you have, let's say, in here, if you have, I'm just gonna put my name here. So if you have the specific pain point, so financial reasons, inherited, tired landlord, divorce, repairs, job relocation, downsizing, you guys can also take the survey answer or answers that they actually give you. Let's say it's multiple choice, and you can create a workflow inside of your CRM, for example, Go High Level, and you can send specific emails that are going to educate, help, and ultimately just keep the conversation and the flow forward about that specific pain point that the people normally have. So you can create a specific, tailored, custom, pain-driven material and content that is highly value dense for them specifically. So here there is a research from Google that says that people make a decision normally, even if they come from Google Ads or some type of inbound channel, that take 7 to 11 hours of content consumption in order to make a decision. It takes 7 to 11 hours of content consumption, right? What that means is that even if they come from Facebook, even if they come from Google, even they come from SEO, even if they come from YouTube ads, even if they come from TikTok or the YouTube channel, there is a higher likelihood that they will not make a decision until they have consumed at least 7 to 11 hours of content in order to make a decision. Now, this research from Google is literally by connecting to hundreds of CRMs and millions of data points, connecting to all the behavior and how they actually make this. I mean, obviously, Google is able to tag whether a customer has gone to a specific funnel or have gone through this specific funnel or purchased or have had a purchase event. So they came to this conclusion, which means that the post opt-in process, which is the pre-selling process of sales, needs to help the salespeople make a better decision. Because what happens is that when they go to the sales call and they don't know anything about your company, they're comparing other offers, they're comparing other companies, they're ultimately not trusting a lot, they've been burned before, they're skeptical people. Well, there's a lot of different things and behaviors that you would see. Well, your salespeople would have a harder job to maneuver, which is okay if you're a skilled individual, but you can help your salespeople, you can help yourself by having a great pre-selling process, right? So let's cover real quick here. So emails that cover specific pain points and help on specific pain points, challenges, and concerns, right? Same thing, text messages that would point at people to see a specific landing page. and a landing page that ultimately would cover the 6 main desires, right? The offer, case studies and testimonials, and ultimately free resources. Now, this landing page is normally what you call the thank you page, or the pre-call page, or the next stage, the next steps page. And a lot of people do this landing page wrong, and they do it horribly. All right, and they only put a landing page together, and they don't put a lot of effort into it. But here's where we start hammering them with value dense content that is specific for them, that is specific, going to cover their main desires, their main challenges, their main questions that they have, their the usual objections that you would get, right? So when people go in here and they opt in, they would want to get those emails, those text messages, and the landing page, and a landing page that could potentially look something like this. So I'll give you this example. So here's the home offer. The last steps: watch this 15-minute home buying process video and watch our FAQs so we can hit the ground running with your call and follow the next steps. So this video essentially explains about how our offer works, and then who we are as a company, and then we tell them exactly that there is another part of the process where they need to essentially watch a few other videos, because we put together all the things that they need in order to make a better decision, in order for them to understand who they're dealing with. And that is the initial video that we have. And then after that, we hit them with case studies, testimonials, but we also let them know that they need to be ready for our call, especially whenever they book an appointment, right? This is specifically whenever they book an appointment, but it also is applicable when as a thank you page whenever they don't book an appointment. You still want to be able to make them go through this entire type of let's just say behavioral change, where they start understanding more about your company and start consuming more content. And a lot of people would want to be able to find out more and keep reading more. That's why when I say it's important to have a YouTube channel, it's important because you can put a lot of these videos in your YouTube channel as well, apart from all the other content that they could potentially binge watch, right? So we tell them to get ready for the call, because people, and I missed something, but essentially after people opt in, the best type of process that you want to have is that as soon as they opt in, you want to make them book an appointment. I missed that actually. So you want people to book an appointment because it separates people that are action takers with people that are not action takers. So it separates people that are, not so serious with people that are a lot more serious. An appointment, it's a higher quality lead. It's a higher qualified lead. If we can see it this way. So an appointment would essentially tell you, hey, this person has taken the time to take some time during the week to talk about this. And we want to have people that are intentional about their decision, right? So if we make them book an appointment right here, and we still make them go through the entire process, right? Reminders and emails and text messages and landing page, then we would have an understanding that these people have a little bit more of an intention, right? So, and I'll show you guys how the calendar landing page looks after they opt in. But when they book an appointment, you show high intent, right? You also could potentially show people that are committed to make decisions, right? Or more committed that make decisions, and you still make them go through a process, even if they're more committed, even if they're more high intent. Now, the way that you want appointments to look is that at least 50% minimum of all leads need to book an appointment if you have a good funnel. right? 50% of people should be able to actually book an appointment. And then the rest would be followed up either with a human lead manager or inside sales agent, appointment setter, and so on to continue the process. So 50% at minimum in real estate should be able to book an appointment. For an optimized, very high converting one, should be about 65 to 70% high conversion from lead to appointment, right? Now, let's go back to the landing page, the thank you page that people would want to be able to consume. Okay. Let's go back to this. All right. So whenever you're confirming the appointment for people, whenever you're telling them exactly what to do, they should also be able to see a video sales letter that explains the entire process of what we do and how we do it. And normally, this is a VSL that takes them through, again, how is this different from everything else that I've seen? What's your unique mechanism? What's in it for me? How do I know that this is real? Why should I trust you? How does it work? And what is that do I have to lose? When people start consuming a lot more of this content, right? Even if it is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, now the rule of Google, which is 7 to 11 hours of content, starts getting more applied, right? Now, but they're also going to be more aware about the things that they're going to be seeing in the call and maybe consume even more content than ever before. So I'll give you guys more examples. So this VSL right in here, I'll give you guys this example. I don't know if I can ultimately share the sound. Let me know if you guys are listening to this right in here, because I want to share the sound, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Hear it?
Not yet. No.
Okay. That's kind of weird. All right, I'll paste the direct link of this so you guys can hear it. But I'll tell you exactly what actually we went through. Okay. And by the way, after this, you want to be able to answer frequently asked questions. And during every single frequently asked questions part, you want to be able to give them a video about you answering that frequently asked question. I'll show you another example of a landing page that has something like that. Okay. So this is exactly what we kind of go through. This is another landing page that I created for a thank you page that essentially works as a credibility package as well. This thank you page should work as a credibility package. And this is a link that you should be able to like send them as a text message in the emails as well, for them to be more prepared about their appointment or talking with you. So here, for example, so we tell them exactly what to do, watch this first, what to expect, and then ultimately help them confirm the appointment. I created this with Gamma. I still have the same video, which is the video. Does this one, you guys hear the sound? Hold on. Can you guys hear this?
No.
It says that presentation audio is actually. You guys hear it now?
No.
All right, let me see if I can just represent it again. It says.
Behind on
What
payments,
about now?
and now you just need a fast, stress-free way out.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me go here real quick. Let me put 1.5x.
Are you struggling to sell your house the traditional way? Maybe you've tried listing with an agent, fixing things up, and waiting for offers that never come, or maybe life threw you a curveball, divorce, relocation, inheritance, or falling behind on payments, and now you just need a fast, stress-free way out. So how are everyday homeowners like James and Maria going from months of waiting and worrying to selling their homes in just days without paying realtor fees or lifting a finger? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the traditional home selling process fails most homeowners, how people like you are walking away with cash in hand, even when their homes need work or have a mortgage, and how you can sell your home as is on your timeline for a fair price with zero fees, no stress, and total control. Hi, I'm Esteban Andrade, founder of Rise Up Real Estate. Since 2019, our mission has been simple: to help homeowners sell fast, safely and stress-free, no matter their situation. We've helped hundreds of people across the country sell homes through flexible options like cash offers, seller financing, novations, and subject to agreements. Whether you're behind on payments, tired of being a landlord, or just ready to move, we've created a process that eliminates agents, commissions, and endless waiting while still getting you a fair price.
Let me share a few stories. Amanda was weeks away from foreclosure. Her bank wouldn't budge. We stepped in, took over her mortgage payments, and gave her money to move. In just 9 days, John and Linda inherited a property that needed over $40,000 in repairs. Instead of fixing it, they sold it to us as is and closed in 2 weeks. Carlos, a retired landlord, was tired of dealing with tenants and maintenance. We helped him sell all 3 properties in under 30 days. These aren't lucky breaks.
So, how did they do it? The secret is what we call our homeowner freedom system, a simple process designed to give you multiple ways to sell, not just one. Here's how it works. 1, we evaluate your property and your goals. No repairs or inspections needed. 2, we give you multiple offers, a fast cash offer, a creative offer that may get you top dollar, or a flexible option if you need time. 3, you pick the one that works best for you. 4, we handle the paperwork and close on your timeline. No listings, no agents, no uncertainty, just peace of mind and a clear path forward. I know what you're probably thinking. Is this real? Yes, 100%. We're not here to list your property, we're buyers. We don't charge commissions, and we handle all closing costs. If the offer doesn't work for you, no problem. You walk away with 0 obligation. But if it does work, you could be holding your check and moving on with your life in as little as 7 days. Here's what happens once you reach out. Step 1, you fill out a short form or give us a call. Step 2, we review your property and situation to find the best possible solution for you. Step 3, within 24 hours, you'll receive your custom offer. Step 4, you decide when to close. We handle the rest. No cleaning, no showings, no surprises, just a smooth, transparent process built around you. I started this company after seeing too many homeowners trapped, either by agents who couldn't deliver or by circumstances out of their control. Now, every month, we help people find real solutions, whether they're behind on payments, tired of the stress, or just ready to move forward. Because selling your home shouldn't feel like climbing a mountain. It should feel like relief.
You might be asking, can you still buy my home if it's in bad condition? Yes, we buy homes as is. What if I owe more than it's worth? We have flexible financing options for that. Do I need to move out right away? No, we can structure the sale so you have time. Whatever your situation, we have a solution tailored to you. This isn't about listing your house or wasting time on the market. It's about selling your home directly to real buyers with real options that fit your needs. So if you're a homeowner looking to sell quickly without repairs, realtor fees, or stress, this is your moment. Click the button below or fill out the short form on this page. Once you do, our team will contact you within 24 hours to review your situation and make.
Okay, so that video shouldn't have told that to do another opt-in. It should have said, like, just be prepared for your call, that we're going to be calling them. We're going to be going to, essentially doing an appointment. But anyways, you get the gist. The thing is that a lot of people are not preparing their homeowners to be as hot as possible, right? They don't have a pre-selling process, and they don't create, value dense content for them on the front end before they ever talk to you. So obviously the sales process is always going to be harder, and obviously you get skills through NAPQ and so on. But if you had a better pre-selling process, then the conversations could become even easier, because at some point homeowners could see you as as this like high level authority, as this public figure, as this individual I can trust prior to ever making a decision, right? You guys have ever watched Alex Ramosi, where he talks about how do we make our closing ratio higher? How do we get a better cost per lead? How do we avoid having so much difficulty in the marketing and sales process? When things get worse, you create a brand, right? And this is the biggest difference between the biggest operators, company like Seller's Advantage, for example. Seller's Advantage is a huge operator, and I'm pretty sure they have like a process like this one. So Seller's Advantage in California, I'll show you guys this operator. I know for a fact that they're giant and that they actually are around, I think they're like at 40 million a year. So these companies actually do have a brand, right? They have all these processes in the marketing side. They run TV commercials. They have, obviously a great website, and they have a brand that people can ultimately trust a lot more. So what is it that you can do as a small operator? You can do something similar, but at a different scale, right? That's why I'm showing you guys all of this. Okay. Let me see. You guys, oh, this is still sharing. Yeah, which one is sharing? All right. Let's see if I can share this. Keep sharing here. All right. So you want to be able to send them this thank you page, this landing page that essentially works as a sales letter. In pre-sales people, I'll share with you guys the template of this so you guys can redo it in Gamma or now Lovable, or you guys can do Go High Level. Now there's Go High Level AI has the ability to create landing pages just based on something that already exists. So you guys can actually do it for your own brand, right? Which, by the way, if you guys didn't know that Go High Level now can do that, now you guys know. And this is the slides that I actually went through in that video sales letter. I'll show you. So these are the slides that I actually went through. So how homeowners are selling their houses fast without realtors, repairs, or fees. And I could have also said like how homeowners are selling their houses fast with our freedom house buying process. You guys can always name your mechanism to make it sound more legit and make it sound different than anybody else. Actually, the biggest companies in the space, they all have like a mechanism process, right? So we go through this, and I'll share with you guys the landing page of this. Sorry, I'll share with you guys the link of this, so you guys have access to it. It's actually gonna be in here. Now, before we extend this super long, which we can actually extend it super long because I have a document in here that tells us exactly how to generate high quality motivated seller leads. And I also have another document that tells us exactly how to make sure that whenever they book an appointment, that they are the most high quality and that they actually show up to their appointment, right? That would take us forever. That would take us maybe 2 hours. But I want to go for the more higher level things, right? Now, once they've got an appointment, once the lead has opted in, right? So you have two options: opt in with no appointment or appointment. The best option is always appointment, right? It's always appointment. You want to be able to hammer them with value dense content through those emails that we're talking about. Specified emails based on their answers, right? If they are an inherited homeowner, if they're an inherited homeowner or they're a divorced homeowner, you want to be able to create specified value dense content of how you have helped other people in divorce situations, how you have helped people get outside of the divorce pain and buy another house in another state, and even help them with something about the divorce. Maybe you paid for the moving costs. Maybe you did something for them that was phenomenal, and that you have a case study to talk about that. But maybe you were able to answer also questions about how can you help me with the title of the company? Like, it's the title is under her, like, and then you talk about a case study about that specific thing. So you're able to create a value dense specific content about that specific homeowner that have that specific pain point. Those are the best type of content that you can ever create. And not only that, but you can also create now a YouTube channel that talk about the different issues that you actually are able to help with, right? And you post your case studies, testimonials, you post the different pains that you have solved, the case study, the solutions, and so on, and then send them to your YouTube channel. And now they're going to be able to essentially have a better decision with you. 7 to 11 hours of content, right? That's exactly what we're looking to do, right? So if you already are running Google ads, if you're already running Facebook ads, and you're already running SEO, have a good traffic with any of these channels, make sure that you apply this, and make sure that you definitely create that YouTube channel that you can upload all the videos in there. Start creating videos. You can clone yourself now, and it's gonna sound and look real. and start posting on YouTube. Or if you don't want to like do avatars or AI stuff, you can still like record yourself. Now they are opted in, they are booking, and oh my God, there's a big gap in here. There's a big gap in here from opt-in or appointment into a sales process, right? Let me tell you what is the gap. That gap is called speed to lead. That gap is called, just being quick with those leads. And let me tell you why a lot of people actually get it wrong. And maybe I may call some people out. I may call out some clients in here, but this is important because if you guys are here, you guys are clients, you guys want to understand something very deeply. And that is like, there's a reason why sometimes we don't convert. There's a reason why sometimes we feel like we're spending a lot of money and we're not getting anywhere. So I'll share with you guys this specific document that I have that my media buyer actually created for us, because it talks about a research that we did inside of our CRMs that we need to ultimately address. Everyone needs to address this. All right. So what is it? We did a study of about 7 accounts in our company, and we found that there was about $1.9 million in opportunities, a leak of opportunities, with about 7 CRMs that we evaluated from different accounts that we have, right? And we want to be able to address that. Why? Because what's the situation? What is it that is happening? Between those 7 accounts, there's been about total marketing spend of about $62,000. Total opportunities of 422. In the pipeline, there's about 1.9 million of dormant pipeline value, right? And there is a specific fix that you could potentially do if that would just give anybody an immediate return. So for example, $97,000 if you just fix 5% of this thing. So here's what happens. People in companies usually go and say, ads are expensive, lead quality is poor, the market is too saturated, or whatever. But the problem is that the core problem is not acquisition, it's the sales culture and the process compliance that the company has. Because we evaluated the CRM and we found that 142 fully funded leads, so essentially leads that were already purchased, were entirely untouched. This is crazy. 56% of replies from sellers were left unread. 56%. And there was 0 manual follow-ups aside from the automated follow-ups that already exist, right? So there is automated follow-ups, and there is obviously their responses. We gotta be able to respond to these people, right? And there was 0 manual follow-ups in 7 accounts. Insane. 56% replies. Now, I'm going to is Ryan here? Ryan Aquino, are you here, brother? Is it okay if
Yes,
we
sir.
is it okay if we show your data here, or I'll just like cover it?
Yeah, just don't laugh at me. That's totally fine.
I'm not gonna laugh at you, brother. But here,
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
yeah. So look, we got 7 accounts, right? And multiple accounts were exhibiting, not only from the cost per lead side, were exhibiting some kind of catastrophic operational failures, let's call it like that, where, for example, this one was 56% of messages unread, and obviously have a high cost per lead. And I think this one is in somewhere in a very high cost per lead area. So imagine $388 per lead, and then you got 56% unread. Then this one was 51% unread. Ryan, you're at 37% unread, right? And response delay time has been about 33 hours, 33.8 hours. So that, what I mean is that if you're using the CRM, log it. If you're not using the CRM, also log it. But this is what we found. And this one was 37% unread, 36% unread, and so on, right? So this is the study that we did between these accounts. So here's the number one leak. Yeah, go for it.
Just real quick, how do you, I haven't heard of that. How do you log that the system's not being used at a particular time?
Well, Go High Level is already too smart to kind of like log it for you. It kind of tell you like how long you have actually not how long it actually has taken for you to not respond, like the response time and stuff like that, and whether you have done either a note, a call, an SMS, whatever. If they called, did you respond? How long did it take you to respond? So Go High Level already has those things. And what we did is that we went with Cloud Code and we went into the API of every single one of the accounts, and we were able to understand those numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I only asked because you had said, you commented, just make sure you log that you're not on the system.
Yeah, by logging is like, writing down notes and, just still use it. If you're going to use a CRM, if you're going to use another CRM, just make sure that you let the marketing team know, right? The people that are putting the leads inside of your pipeline now, and being able to establish like how are we going to track things? Because if you're using another CRM, and we want to be able to understand what's the data of another CRM, right? Are you using another CRM?
No, absolutely. I know what you're saying. No, I'm using the Hessel CRM. So kind of what you're saying is, so I get a call at, just for conversational purposes, 9 p.m. at night. No one's here to take it. So next day, go in and make a note. 9 p.m. wasn't on the CRM. That's why the call was missed. Is that what you want to see?
Yeah, man. I mean, as much communication, basically.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So this is the leak number one. So from 142 leads, right? You got marketing fuel, but then they stay at it untouched, right? So we have to be able to take care of, like, anyone right in here have to take care of their pipeline stages, like if it is like gold, right? You guys have phone view, you guys have a mobile app, you guys have everything that you guys need in order to make this a really good experience. You just gotta make sure that you use it as if your girlfriend is actually texting you and you love your girlfriend so much that you don't want to miss any text message, right? Or you recently wifed up someone. Like, it's true. So problem is the leads arrive and they sit, so there's no calls or messages either immediately or for a long time, right? And or someone replies and then we don't reply back or get them on the phone as much as possible. And this can cost about $107 to $551 each, which is kind of money thrown directly into the trash, right? Now, the leak number two is we cannot just do one touch. We need to have a successful 8 to 11 touches, 8 to 12 touches, which is essentially how long it takes normally for someone to pick up the phone, be aware of you, understand that that you guys are actually done for business. And those touches obviously include the calls, the text messages, and potentially the emails if they do see the emails, right? if they do see the emails, if they do open the emails. So you gotta be able to be more aggressive with not only the stuff that you're sending automatically, but the stuff that you're doing manually, such as the touch points, the customized message, the follow-up message, the follow-up call, right? So and you want to be able, and there's an entire follow-up training that I did where the first week is called the week of hell, or the week of let's just say hammer them. You got to be able to hammer them with so many touches so that they actually get on the phone with you and ultimately have a conversation, right? All right. League number 3 is the automation trap. Most people with AI and everything, they rely on automation, but when it comes to, let's say, a seller actually reaching out or wanting to have a conversation, then when the automation is not configured or doesn't know what to say or says the wrong things, you have to be able to get your human side and actually get into a call with this individual, right? Because if people are not talking to people, you're going to make this, ultimately a harder business. And, if we ignore people that reply to text messages, then that's just not going to be a good use of your advertising money. So that's why we got to be able to be better at that, right? Speed to lead. The benchmark is 5 minutes or less. Even though you have inside sales agents will try to do. If you see someone replying, if you see someone coming in, if you see someone that is warm or hot, you want to step in there, because the problem is that people don't have your phone number saved. So if you do, for example, a speed to lead of hey, this is Ryan from Aquino Invest, right? And then you call. Probably the other phone is going to suggest that it's Ryan on the caller ID, and so people are going to be even more open to actually pick up the call, right? So you always want to be able to do that, speak to lead, be like, hey, this is Ryan from Aquin Invest. You just submitted your form. I'm going to call you. And then you call, and then the suggested activities is going to show, right? So I'm not going to dive deeper into this, but you definitely want to be able to have a very good speed to lead protocol in order to make sure that most leads are actually going to a sales process, because the sales process literally you can't have a sales process if you don't have speed to lead, if you don't have a good lead management process, if you don't have a good nurturing process, right? It's just impossible to go into the other side, which is still tough, which is sales, without actually getting people on the phone, right? Which I'm going to dive into this in here. I actually only have 5 minutes, but I wanted to dive into sales. But so far, how was this entire explanation of the marketing and pre-sales process? Please let me know if you guys have any questions, but because we may just split this into two, right? And I want to be able to give you guys as much value as possible. So thumbs up, everyone. All right, cool. So I'm gonna share with you guys this lizard chart right in here, so you guys can have access to these things. Let me just make sure that I have it public. Shareable link. Boom. View. All right, cool. I'm gonna share this with you guys, and I have to go to a meeting now, so I won't be able to continue this, but we can have a second we can have a second chat about this in a second, go over this as well. Also, all right, guys, that's about it. This was the marketing and pre-sales process. Then we're gonna go into the closing process so that we can understand the contract making process. So, all right, just hope you guys have a great one. Don't forget to invite people to the office hours if you're an entrepreneurs. If you found it very valuable, don't forget to invite people in the school community. Thank you for coming, and we're gonna come up with better topics. All right.
Every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we break down what's actually working for real estate investors trying to scale for free. Next session, we're covering the closing and contract process, part 2 of the click to close system. Link to join the community is in the description. We'll see you there.